What's up, family? This video about FBA, um, Aboriginal, or what's the Indian, what's the classification and stuff like that that's been going on. It's been a talk now in the community with Tariq Nasheed. He came with his FBA. He's been saying this for years too. The foundational Black um, American, and trying to get the reparations and stuff like that. They've been arguing about reparations. Something I don't even care about too much. You know what I mean? I know there ain't gonna get nobody shit. You know what I mean? And if so, I mean, whatever. You know, it ain't nothing to fight or argue over. If they do, they do. But it's just about these people arguing now over the term FBA, or what should they call each other. And what I just say, call yourself a foundational American. You know who a foundational American is, You know who was here in America through all the trials and tribulations and stuff, who everything is targeted at. And, ever since we've been growing up, they always target everything, no matter if it's true or not, or if some stuff really happened to our people bad and stuff like that, no matter what, it's always been pushed that happened. Everything been towards the melanated people, so-called black people in America. We know who he is, no matter if we high yellow all the way to midnight brown. You know what I mean? We know who he is. And with the titles, Aboriginal, I mean, you could say that, but as Aboriginals in other countries and stuff like that, if they want to say the Aboriginals of America, you could say that, because the American definition of American, the first definition in the first Webster's, was the Aboriginals, the copper color races that was here. So that it said the Aboriginals, so you could say that. Black, it's a lot of, in the law dictionary, and you look up the word black, and it's a lot of negative things about black, but people want to hold on to black. But y'all got to realize people just started being called black in the 60s and shit like that. And they had to bring out music and stuff like that to make it cool. Like they paid James Brown to do that. I'm black and I'm proud. Because before that, if you call somebody black, or if you call the Negro black, or melanated, or so-called African American, you call them black, you might blow your shit out. You might get your ass beat for saying some shit like that. So, I see why, I see why a lot of people don't want that term, compared, but we know who he is no matter what, because like, if we went through all these trials and tribulations, we've been going through it since colored, Negro, you know what I mean, and all them other classifications they gave us. So we know who he is, and with Aboriginal power, shout out to Aboriginal power. He just I see he feel what Tariq Nasheed saying, and he want to bring the people that's FBA now that they know, because these people was once, not that long ago, was Pan-Africans. So now they're coming over to knowing that they're original Americans. That's a good thing. If they want to call themselves black, no matter what, as long as they listen in the Ad Power channel and they soaking in this knowledge, after a while they not even gonna want to call themselves black. Even Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed was a Pan-African. He knew that black people was in America, but he didn't know that was him. He's starting to come across his information. Now he finding out it's him and us. Okay, he still holding on to the term black, but that's all he know. But once he come around, he gonna know, just like a lot of stuff I don't agree with him. He think, we were slaves and whipped up. He believed the slave narrative. He believed that a couple boats of Africans came over here and mixed with millions of us, and we mixed. No, there ain't no way that can happen. The only way a couple boats of Africans come over here, they said 3% of the transatlantic slave trade, niggas that only made it to America, 3%. Well, America was populated with millions of niggas already. So if come on, if it say it's 100,000, if 100,000 Africans come over here to this shit populated with millions and millions of Negroes, what 100,000 can only get breaded out. But you can look at Negroes that's over there in Africa right now. That's pure. I mean, pure. You can look at not Negroes. You can look at Hamitic people, the Hamitic dark races of Africa. You can look at them, and that's been there forever. And you can look at them and tell they different from us. They just got brown skin. It's brown skinned people all over the earth. You know what I mean? But the Negroes in America is something else. And like I said, Africans hit them islands, but come on, man, it's some well, I understand what Tyreek be saying about with because it do be certain Jamaicans that go against Negroes, it be Haitians that go against or go they know who they is, but when it's all down to and boils down to the original people that was on them islands. Like on the island of Jamaica, the original people that was on the island of Haiti, the original people that was on the island of Puerto Rico, and all these islands around here in Mexico and all that shit, the islands in South America, all that, the original people was us, the ones they call Negroes now. We spread it around. Now, kind of colonization happened where people started just representing, like, yeah, we these people, we that. But when you go dig down deep into them places, like when you go to Puerto Rico and see the real Puerto Ricans, the Negroes, they still getting treated unjust and shit, and they look like us too. When you see them all over the world, like you can go to Europe and all that stuff, and you can see like certain Hamitic people that's in Europe because it's close. But when you dig deep in there, like you can see that show Top Boy. It's a show about London or something like that where they selling drugs. You can see you can look at these people and see who the Hamite dark races over there, and you can see who the Negroes, so-called Indians or whatever, like with the Indian term. I see a lot of them people arguing over that. But with the we was called Indians before, but it was Negroes. You know what I mean? You can see them. You can see the difference of how we look. We look different. We a certain kind of people. You know what I mean? I wish I knew some of the names. And some of the actors. I can point it out to y'all. But and what Tyreek saying, like a lot of those people, they come to America. They be fully, African, Jamaican, and all that, and with they self when something good happening for them. But if something bad happened with them, they just put them as a Negro. Like they the Negro and all y'all niggas Jamaicans. But, some of our people is really from them islands and you know what I mean? Airwalk and all that, those was Negroes too. We can't forget about that. So shout out to our people from them islands, especially the ones who rock with us, but we the foundational Americans. And that's all they got to call themselves if people don't want to do the black. Tyreek and them will wake up and see that with his group, see the FBA is his group or whoever, how they hook up, and they all hook up, but we all the same people. No matter if you a FBA, no matter if you a Hebrew, no matter if you a Muslim, no matter if you a what's the Pan-African, Egypt niggas and all that, y'all, we all still the niggas of America, man. And another thing, though, none of these ideologies get talked about, and ain't none of these ideologies in no other country. It's, you know what I mean? It might be sprinkled, like you might see Christianity in Africa and stuff like that, but all the movements, the Hebrew Israelite movement, the Nation of Islam, and all these higher thinking ideologies all come out the Americas, man. That's how you know the Bible and everything was talking about the Americas. You know what I mean? All that high elevation thinking, man. The Aboriginal movement, the even Dr. York I could just keep going on and on. All that shit come out the Americas. So we can't get trapped up into them ideologies and be going against a nigga like he a FBA, so we can't mess with them. First off, y'all all niggas. No matter what, y'all gotta, leave y'all ideologies at the door and realize we all niggas. Now, if these niggas want to be called FBA, that's cool. Y'all want to be called black, okay. But we still niggas at the end of the day. Would you think they gonna just cut a check for the niggas who call themselves FBA and not cut the check for the niggas who Egyptology and not cut a check for the niggas who Hebrews? It's crazy, the little arguments going on. And I see what AP doing. AP is bringing these people together. Like they coming when they come to him. He got in through the Tyreek. Like, okay, Tyreek talking about this, and he started making shows about it. And the FBA people start coming to his channel, learning. Like, yeah, we is foundational Americans, because Tyreek teaching them a little bit. Tyreek don't know the history for real. Tyreek know a little bit. And Tyreek, what things I don't agree with Tyreek just always bring up that slave trade and like we was whooped and we was bombed all the time and shit. He ain't got no stories of he got a few stories like, yeah, his brothers was riding in Chicago when brothers was shooting up shit in Detroit. He know the little history, but when he dig down into the deep history, he don't see no greatness in us. Like, even when he talk about us being foundational Americans and building Americans, he think it's like building it off slavery. And when you go to Add Power and Autogenous One and Chief Holiday and people channels like that, they're going to show you the greatness of Negroes. Like, hold on, like we just want no getting whipped. We didn't build this country from getting whipped. You know what I mean? We built it a whole empire, different shit that got torn down that they don't see. These little houses and shit we live in now. A lot of pale people built a lot of these houses up in North, so-called, up in the North, because they were coming over here getting taught trades and skills and getting put to work. You know what I mean? If they call that building America, no, we built America a long time ago from just living. With agriculture, and you know what I mean? Agriculture was one of the top things, and the big structures like shit like the Masonic Temple and shit like that be built by Negroes back in the day. They've been long lost castles, but now they are modern buildings like Penobscot and shit like that. You know what I mean? A lot of that shit come back from ancient times. I seen videos about that. So Tyreek don't know the true greatness of our people, and he was just a Pan-African like a couple years ago. He caught that Aboriginal buzz. A lot of that came from the Aboriginal buzz, and people hating on Aboriginal power for doing that, especially the Indian community. The Indians taking shots at them and shit like that, but they stuck on the fake Indian, like they stuck on that $5 Indian shit. You know what I mean? They want to be those tribe names. You know what I mean? The Chickasaw and Chippewa. All that shit was added to people. And then the faces of them people. The face of them names is not our faces. You know what I mean? Then people claim Indian, the people that come from Asia. That's what they claim, and y'all can get that mixed up because y'all know we the real Indians. But the stories and the years they telling y'all about the Chickamauga and that shit was in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Our people go back before that. Like when they was classifying them people Indians, our people was already colors and shit like that. Our Indian time we talk about Indians was back in the motherfucking 1100s and shit like that. You know what I mean? Or we was something greater then. We was probably a greater name then. Might could have been the Egyptians. Might could have been the Israelites. We was different powers and names through the years, but the y'all looking at it on the lower level with the Indians trying to get the credit of them people. They already got that credit from the 1900s. The people from the World Fair. You know what I mean? The people they brought over here, the Chinos and shit like that. They let them have that, okay. But we know who the real history is, but y'all fighting over it and doing all that. Y'all ain't know y'all was no Indians not that long ago. My grandma, she told me she was from America. She said she ain't no Indian. She ain't never said that. She just say she from America. Basically, what she was telling me, she's a foundational American. She ain't say, yeah, we was Indians. Said that she know she ain't them people. But maybe her people was called Indians first, like the old stories and stuff like that. But my grandma just know she was a foundational America. She went from no Africa. She went on. She went none of that. She said, "I'm from America. We from America. We always been here." From Alabama, the flat out tell you, she like, we from Alabama. Now, whatever they start calling people who live in certain spots in Alabama, the Alabama and stuff like that, my grandma know we descend back to the first people that was in America. I just made this video, I'm going all around, but, and it's some people I could talk about how they, acting all crazy over the names and all that, but I ain't gonna go there, but I just say I'm a foundational American. I'm from America, and reason I don't say FBA because if you saying it's a FBA, it must be a FWA. Like, what if people start claiming, well, I'm a foundational white American, and the only people that was from over here was melanated. Now, pale people come from somewhere else, but it's some of them could be like, well, I was a slave over here. My people was a slave. And we foundational white Americans. No, see, if you just cut out the black and say we foundational Americans, that's only speaking about melanated people. The foundational Americans is melanated. And it tells you that in a dictionary, the 1800-something dictionary, 18 whatever it is, 28 dictionary, who the American is. The Aboriginal copper color races that was founded here, but now the term applies to the Europeans. So it tells you the Aboriginal copper color people is the Americans. So that they should just call it self-foundational Americans. Whoever, no matter what's your ideology, if you Black Power, you still a foundational America. If you a Aboriginal, you still a foundational American. If you a Indian, that's a melanated Indian that found your people, the Indians melanated, you's a foundational American. If you a Hebrew, but you believe that the Hebrew land, if you know that the Hebrew lands and the Hebrew stories is all in the Americas, you's a foundational American. Even if you do Egypt, the Egypt shit, and you start finding out that Egypt has spots, all the spots that they was talking about in Egypt was in Americas, you're a foundational American. Even if you from them islands and you from the islands and them islands is a part of America, you's a foundation America. But they split them islands off. Them islanders stopped saying America. They be like, I'm Jamaica, Haiti, and a lot of them try to trace their roots back to the Africa. So that's why a lot of y'all cut off from that. You know what I mean? I feel Tyreek, he be going in, he funny. I wish he would just come get some knowledge from some of the brothers and do some real research. And hey, he'd be coming dropping real science. But he stand up for foundational Americans. He be funny. He ain't nothing but a nigga. I heard he was born in Detroit. Yeah, started out in Detroit. He act just like a Detroit nigga with that silly shit. We be cooking niggas. I can't cook nobody. I want to talk some shit about a couple people on my video that been coming with that fake Indian shit, but I don't want to get my page shut down. They'll call it bullying, cyberbullying or something. Yeah, but I'm going to end this video right here. I'm a foundational American. All foundational Americans are melanated people. Melanation is my skin color. That's brown, you know what I mean? It's light brown melanated, it's dark brown melanated, it's people mix. Oh, with the stuff they talking about with the mix too, like mixed people, can they be foundational Black Americans or something like that? I don't know. A lot of mixed people claim they white side. If your father white, I believe in who you are, what your father are. That's because you come from the seed of your father. Your father carried the seeds, and you could put an apple tree, you could put apple seeds anywhere and all over the world, and no matter what, if you put an apple seed down, the apple tree gonna grow out. So you are your father's seed. And if your father a pale man, you a pale man. Now, if your mama she get the reparations for you, split it with you or something, you know. Yeah, but you get if your father don't get no. That's why I think if your father don't get no reparations, you shouldn't shit. You come from your father's seed. Good thing my father melanated, my grandfather melanated, my great great grandfather was melanated, my great great great. I go back to Levi May them. Them was niggas. So I get my reparations. I got the paperwork for them and everything. Ha 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 ha. And they was all foundational Americans. Straight from they ain't come from no damn London. They ain't come from no Africa. They ain't come from nowhere but Georgia and Alabama and Louisiana and shit. That's where my people come from. I got the records. All you gotta do is go on the shit with the internet and check out find your family history. Well, one love fam, I ain't mean to make this video 20 minutes. Whoever watched this video must love me, man, because I'm just on here talking. But I said some real stuff, you know. And one love family, shout out to the Foundation Americans. No matter what's your ideology or whatever, if your people come from here, if they was them people that were so-called slaved or something, all that bullshit, whatever, you know, them niggas that they made roots about and all that, even if it's all lies, they was talking about us. It was for a reason. You feel me? That's you, the foundational Americans. They say they owe us some shit. If they give it to us, oh well, yep, come on, come with it. Shout out to the foundational Americans, the melanated beings. You know, shout out to everybody, you know, all over the world. Just because we represent that we foundational Americans don't mean I'm racist toward no other race or nothing. I ain't got nothing to explain. But, you know, shout out to the foundational Americans, the melanated beings. One love.